Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house.
Welcome back, guys. This is Top Bins Football. I am Louis, and I'm here today with Aaron and Benny, and we're going to speak about the Championship and what do we reckon is going to happen, and how we think the teams, if they do come up, how will they do in the Premier League. So let's talk about the top 6, shall we, boys?
Yeah, so coming in first on quite a good run of form at the minute is Norwich. Obviously, they were in last season, weren't they? Yeah, it was last season. Yep. Norwich are one of those teams where they seem too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Prem. It's almost as if there needs to be, a middle league for them, sort of. Yeah. Or either that, or when they come up, they need to sign a few good players that will keep them up. Because coming up with the team they have, it proved last season they just aren't cut out for the Prem with the team they have at the minute.
Well, you say that, but what I noticed from teams like Norwich, because they score for fun down there. They've got 35 goals in 26 games. I know that's not loads, but it's still that's still a lot. But what they change their game as soon as they come up, and a lot of teams make that mistake. Yeah, they're very attacking against the lower league sides. They're very attacking against lower league sides, but then when they come up, they then just defend. They play the Burnley way, and they just want the attack. Whereas teams like Leeds don't change. And they concede a lot, but they also score a lot. Yeah. So it's like you can score 4 against us because our defense is shit, but our attack is just as good. Yeah. So teams seem to change how they do things when they come up, rather than play the way you know how to win. Yeah.
Yeah. When we played Norwich first game of the season last year, I thought they were going to do really well because they came out and they were attacking and they did look like they had something about them. And honestly, I thought they would do a lot better than what they did based on that first game. And they did do quite well for the first 5 or 6 games, and they just sort of dropped off and never sort of recovered last season. But it'd be nice to see him back up again, see if Pookie can, work his magic in the Prem. But
at the moment he is he's like 5th in the top goal scorer in the Championship. He's got 11 goals in 22 appearances.
Yeah, that's not good enough for number 9 for me.
No, because the season they came up last, he was top scorer, and he had fucking upwards of 40 goals, I think he had. So
there's not really been anyone who has actually scored massive amounts in the Championship this season. Brentford, Ivan Toney.
Brentford are the top scorers in the whole league.
Yeah, and Ivan Toney's got 18 in 25.
They are top goal scorers by quite a few goals, really. From the top 6.
Yeah. Is 18 in 25 enough for you, Louis, as a number 9?
Yeah. It needs to be about 0.75 a game, so almost every 1.5 games you need to be scoring.
Yeah.
Because that league is so difficult. The Championship, famously, a lot of players have said it's the hardest league to get out of and the easiest to get into because the Premier League is so hard. Look at Mitrovic. Mitrovic scores for fun in the Championship, but he's dog useless in the fucking Prem. What was that stat we heard yesterday? He's played in England for 6 years.
6 years.
3 clubs. So 2 or 3 clubs. I think Newcastle, Fulham, and Swansea. No. Either way, this is his 6th season, and he's either been relegated or been promoted from the Championship every season. Yeah. Which shows he's not good enough to be in the Premier League. But then the Championship is full of those sort of strikers. Yeah. Timo Pukki is a clear result of that, I think.
Yeah, it's another one where they're too good to be in one league, but not good enough to be in another. So they need to sort of find a middle ground.
You need to go abroad.
Yeah.
Another one like that is Dominic Solanke. We saw last year when he was for Bournemouth. What did he get? He got about 3 goals in his whole 2 years at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
He's got 10 and 4 assists at the moment in the Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Like, where Bournemouth are creeping into that the playoff zone. They should be in the Premier League, really. They stayed a long time in the Premier League when they came up. They're kind of like the underdogs of Britain, really, aren't they? Like, the worst stadium and all that. They've got no money. They've never spent any fucking money, but they stayed up long enough. And I'd like to see them up, but because they're fighters, and it's a local for us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They're Bournemouth are on a pretty poor run of form at the minute. They've only got one win in their last 5 games, and
lost their last 3.
Yeah.
They started on really good form. I think them and Norwich at one point were like top and kind of clear by a few points. I think quite early on.
Yeah.
But they've just dropped.
They're only 2 points off of dropping out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Middlesbrough below them have played one more game, so in theory they could be 5 points off of that.
Yeah.
But
there were also 5 points off Reading, who are just above them.
Yeah. So that's sixth is probably the most realistic aim for them.
Yeah, just make it to the playoffs. Just get there, and then who knows what can happen on playoff day. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're going to come back up. Not straight away. Not
this year. Not this year. Potentially next year. I think they'd have had an easier. Sorry.
Do you think they'll make playoffs?
I reckon they'll make playoffs. Just.
So how many? They've played 26 games. How many is there in the Championship? They've won 11.
There's 48
games. 46 games, yeah.
Yeah. So there's 20 games left.
If something changes, then yes. Obviously, they've just got Wilshere in this transfer window. Re-signed him. Bit of magic in their midfield.
Bit of magic. Is that going to save you? Jack
Experience,
Wilshere?
then. Bit of experience.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
And that's realistically what does kind of do well in the Championship, let's be honest. The experience is what does well.
Yeah.
So I think it will be close. It will either be like they'll be in a battle till the end of the season to get playoffs. It won't be like
Middlesbrough or Blackburn.
Well, you got Middlesbrough, Blackburn, and Bristol all like 1 point off each other. So there's 2 on 39, 1 on 40. So it's always going to be tight for those bottom playoff positions, that 6th place, because you'll always have a big group.
I think the top 5 are pretty dead set.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fighting for that 6th spot. So the top 5 are Norwich, Swansea, Brentford, Watford, Reading.
Yeah,
and then I think there's another 5 under them that could fight for 6th.
Yeah, so definitely.
Bournemouth, Middlesbrough, Blackburn, Bristol, and Stoke.
Yeah.
Could all fight for that.
If you look at Stoke's form, in their last 5, they've had 3 draws and 2 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been dropping.
Yeah. So, they must have been doing well before that to be on the points they're on now.
Yeah.
With having that bad form.
So Blackburn have only lost 1 in 5, so they're on a good run of form.
Yeah.
It's the Championship though. It's real fucking hard.
Anything can happen.
Everyone's the same level. Everyone.
Yeah.
Like I think Norwich are going to run away with it. And they're going to win. But
yeah, I think top 2 will stay as it is. I think it will stay.
I agree.
Norwich, Swansea.
I think Brentford will go 2nd.
You reckon?
Yeah. Look at their like. They just know how to pull it out of the bag, don't they?
Well, they had a good result against Wickham yesterday. They won 7-2. I know Wickham are bottom of the table, but
Wickham are dog shit.
Wickham are only in it kind of like controversially because of. All right. Well, in League One, obviously when COVID happened and the major outbreak and they stopped football, did the Championship finish?
No.
No, was it just Prem that finished?
No, Championship didn't play.
No, like after Project Restart, did Championship finish or did it not? Did it just completely restart? I can't remember.
Restart would have been you're not talking any sense, because Project Restart didn't restart the league all over again.
No. I know. But this is what I'm saying. League One didn't have a Project Restart.
Yeah, that's correct.
They cancelled it and it went just points per game.
Yeah. So it was whoever it was at the point on an average. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wickham were in actual 7th or 8th and had a game in hand, and because they had a game in hand they'd played less, so went into the playoffs rather than they weren't actually in the playoffs position at all. And I believe that game they had in hand was against top of the league.
So
they were nice, basically.
Well, you never know what's going to happen, but form would state they wouldn't win it.
Yeah, but then for them to actually go into the playoffs and win it.
Yeah, but that's another 3 games, because you play 2 legs on the semis and the final, or if they didn't do the 2 legs because of COVID, that's still another 2 games they had to win.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's unfair on 6th.
Yeah. So they got in there on merit, basically, just out of luck. But they're bottom of the table by quite a bit, so they're going to be going back down anyway. So it's not going to have,
Yeah.
They'll get their just desserts, I think, come the end of the season. But yeah, they did get...
Did you watch the game when they played against Tottenham?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see? Did you see how long they've had their manager?
I can't remember. No.
He's been there for it's something like in this term of what's the word? Management. He's been there for a long time. He's been there 9 years, maybe 10.
I literally
Gareth Ainsworth has been. Yeah, go on, carry on. What was said?
When Benny said the stat, I literally thought it was just he's been here this long, not bloody go all around the houses and in this term of management he's been there.
I just meant in the term.
2012.
Yeah, so he started in 2012.
It's his first management job, but he was playing football last season.
Was he? For
Woodley United while he was the manager of Wickham.
Wow.
He retired from football in 2020.
Wow.
He was the Wickham Wanderers player. He was a manager and player for different clubs, like QPR. He played for QPR and was their manager on 2 different occasions. And then that was in 2009. And then he joined Wickham Wanderers in 2010 as a player, played 112 games. And then in 2012 became their manager while still playing for Wickham Wanderers. Left Wickham Wanderers as a player in 2019 while still their manager. Played for Woodley United, played 3, scored 2.
Mental.
Do you know another interesting thing about him? He's a lead singer of a band.
Yeah, he looks like that type. He looks like he would buy a painting from your house.
It just sounds like he manages bloody Wickham for fun, to be fair. Does all these other things and just manages Wickham as a hobby.
He's in a band called APA with players that used to play for Wimbledon.
Some of these things. Yeah, so if we're saying Norwich and Swansea dead certs to be coming up, we think based on the table at the minute, who would you like to see come up out of the rest of the top 6, top 7?
Brentford. They deserved it last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd agree.
When they came up, they kind of got rid of their best players. So their best striker was Ollie Watkins, and he's gone.
Cameron.
Ben Rama. Come on, he's gone. It's like they've got rid of their best players to to clubs in higher divisions, and then they had nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
But they've done well without backing it up.
Yeah. See, this is where I think Bournemouth, if they kept Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser, I think they'd I think they'd be straight back up. Because Callum Wilson would have torn it up in the Championship, I think. Obviously, he's at Newcastle now, but I think if they kept him, they'd have bounced straight back up. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I'm talking about Bournemouth.
Oh, we were talking about Brentford.
Yeah, I was talking about Bournemouth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think Bournemouth would have gone down and then come straight back up had they kept Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser.
Either one.
Yeah.
Ryan Fraser said he was too big for Bournemouth, though, didn't he? He left. He left before even Project Restart, didn't he? He refused to sign a month contract extension.
Yeah.
And now he's playing on the bench.
Yeah, he doesn't get any games.
No.
But yeah, say Brentford take second and Swansea drop down into the playoffs. So say it was Norwich and Brentford were coming up. Would you still want Swansea to come up, or out of the top 6, who would you like to come up instead?
Have we got?
So it would be out of Swansea, Watford, Reading, Bournemouth, out of the current top 6.
I'd like Reading.
Yeah, I'd like to see Reading back in the Prem.
But I don't know. I want to see Swansea back, to be honest.
I just think Swansea are another middle club. Like it's just all of them are middle clubs to me. But I think Brentford could do very well. Like I think Brentford are the only club out of all of them 6 that could stay up.
I disagree.
Who do you think would come up and stay up safely, not struggle? Like,
if Watford came back up, I think they'd stay up. But I think they would take a couple.
So Watford.
I think they'd take a couple of seasons to potentially come back up.
But Watford could make the top 2, really, in realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, realistically, yes, but I don't think they will.
And we loved that. Was it the playoff final when the Troy Deeney moment?
Yeah.
Hog Deeney against Leicester.
How many saves?
Forestieri. Hog Deeney.
That is class.
Deeney.
I love the Championship for that because it's because it's everyone is. Like everyone says they're as good as each other. No, everyone's as shit as each other. Like it's like everyone's at the same level, and like it's real tough league. Like, but you rarely find any stars down there. You rarely find any stars. Think of the last person that's come up and real made a serious impact over a 5-year period, not just like a flash.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. I think given some time, I think Ollie Watkins will do well.
Yeah, 100%. Ollie Watkins is the exception, but that's why I said over a 5.
Yeah.
I think Eze will do well, but
again,
I know Louis disagrees with me.
A hype job.
I don't know. I think Eze's quite good, but he might just be sort of a. He might just sort of be standing out because Crystal Palace as a team at the minute are pretty shite.
They've got 2 good players, Zaha and him.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so he's like the best player in a bad club.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Like I think Ben Rama. That's not just me being biased. Ben Rama is a class number 10. But
yeah, from what I've seen of him, he looks all right.
Yeah.
And he was obviously Brentford as well.
Yeah. There isn't much though that come up unless they come up with the club and stay there like Callum Wilson did. And
yeah.
You know what I mean? Michael Antonio, I guess.
Yeah. There's a couple of players from Norwich that I think are quite good, like Todd Cantwell and Buendia. I think they're quite good players. I think they could make it in other Premier League sides, but
I think the same for Bournemouth as well. So like David Brooks.
Yeah.
That's just one player. I thought I had a few, and then I just thought of Brooks.
But Brooks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. That is a timestamp for Benny Bloopers.
Loads of Bournemouth players. Brooks.
No, but apart from Watford, they came up with the same players and they got relegated with the same players, but there was a big gap in them coming up and going down. How many years was that? 4 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but it was longer than one. So like they did well, I guess. But then there's not many that come up and stay up. So say the club goes back down and that player kind of gets a feel for the Premier League and doesn't want to go back. But it's like so then they get sold. They're never any good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're never anything special. But that Dan James for United, he was signed from a Championship club, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who though. I know he almost signed for Leeds when they were in the Championship, and then that fell through, and he went to United instead.
No, he was meant to go to Leeds while he was at United as well on a loan deal.
Was he? He came from Swansea, Dan James.
Well, of course he did. He's Welsh. Why didn't we think of Swansea?
I think if James had a bit more experience and got a bit more, as Dan loves to say, football intelligence, where he looks up and sort of doesn't. I think he'd be quality.
I completely agree. I think Dan James is a bit wasted at a big club. I think he needs to be in a 10th place club or below. Yeah,
either that or ship him out on loan elsewhere,
maybe
foreign.
Even back at Swansea. Back at Swansea fighting for
give him a fight.
Promotion.
Or use him in the right way, because they're using him as a Carabao Cup player. I would keep him on the bench for big games, and he's your last 10 minutes man, because he's the quickest player in the Premier League, or one of.
Yeah.
So put him on that wing and make him run like fuck, and that's why he was so good in the Championship. Because there's no real speed down there, and he's just going down there running rings. Yeah. He can't do anything else though. He can't do anything else. So you've got to just tire out them boys before I can pull anything great off.
Yeah.
What is it Dan says about him? He just runs into people with the ball.
He gets the ball head down and just runs straight like. But like Louis said, last 10 minutes against a tired team, that would work well.
Yeah, but that's the classic British, old-fashioned British winger. Look at Aaron Lennon, Theo Walcott, who all came from the Championship as well. But
yeah,
I said over a 5-year span. I didn't mention Theo Walcott as a 16-year-old coming to the Premier League, and he's still there now.
Yeah. Oh, I must interrupt with a public service announcement. Chelsea have scored, and again, it's not Werner, it's Marcus Alonso. 2-0.
How is it the defenders?
2-0, I might get 3 points here.
Hey! Bloody, Marcus Alonso. Fucking Christ.
I put 2-2, so I need Burnley to score 2.
Burnley have scored 11 all season.
Burnley are not scoring 2 in 6 minutes.
I want to talk about Burnley scoring.
Oh, well, Pulisic got the assist, but again, it's not Werner, shock.
Again, okay, so I think we do need to talk about some teams that maybe aren't doing as well in the Championship as we thought. So, Derby, for example.
Derby.
Yes. Yeah, from being...
It was a flash, though. Honestly, I don't think it was good that last season. They were lucky to be in the playoffs. I think it was like a real flash for them to be there. I didn't think they were good last season. They were just lucky to be 6th.
Yeah, but going from that, even if they were lucky, to 18th, that's quite bad. It's quite bad.
Here's a if you still want to talk about Derby, you'll go now, Benny. No? Okay.
What? I didn't hear what you said, I'll be honest.
Have you got anything more to say about Derby? Because I'm going to say someone else who I thought was going to be...
No.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest was going to be the one I said next, yeah. Sitting down in 21st.
3 points from the drop.
Yeah, first game of season, and they were they put up a real dogfight, because that's what Nottingham Forest are known for, like a bit of a scrap in the middle. And when you thought, okay, these guys might do all right, and it's Nottingham Forest. They're one of the greats. You know what I mean? They're European Cup winners.
Yeah.
And all that shit. And now you just look at them and go, what the fuck happened to you?
Yeah.
Well, you think about it. They've got some good players. they've got Lewis Grabban, who is a proven Championship scorer.
Harry Arter.
They've got. No, I don't think he's. Is he still at Nottingham Forest?
He was there at the beginning of the season.
Oh, Anthony Knockart's at Nottingham Forest as well.
Yeah.
Is he?
Lyle Taylor, who was at Charlton last year and was. He's their top scorer at the moment, and he's got 5 goals in 28 appearances.
Yeah, Harry Arter is the defensive midfielder for Championship club Nottingham Forest. But he's
I didn't
played
realise he was still
13 games since 2020.
I've just seen that they have a player called Cafu, and I was just hang on a minute.
I've just seen that.
It's not the Cafu.
What, the baby icon?
Yes, baby icon Cafu. Have they got Sammy Amaobi? Fuck, they have. Is he still there? He is.
Have you ever seen a clip? Right, this is going to sound well weird, and this could go in Benny bloopers or whatever. But it's like another birthday cake moment. So have you've watched The Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy who goes on The Chase, and he's a football scout. And,
I've seen it.
And Bradley asks him what he does, and he goes, "I'm just trying to find the next like Messi, Ronaldo, Assombalonga."
I read on Twitter when I saw that video, on the comments, it said he's his mate, and he's just trying to sneak his name in.
It just makes me think of it. It's like trying to throw Messi and Ronaldo in there with the greatest of all time.
I'm pretty sure there was similar to that. It's a kid like, oh, who's your footballing idols? Like, who do you think the best footballers in the world is? Like Ronaldo, Messi, Cameron Jerome. It's like Cameron Jerome. You taking the fucking piss?
It's like a similar thing in that I saw a map of United States, and it was their favourite player by state.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
And there was some weird players. Like, most of them was Pulisic, and there was Messi,
Ronaldo.
There was a lot of Pulisic, but there was some weird one. It was real bad.
Oh, I can't. It was someone. There was like a championship player team or something.
Yeah.
USA map of.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a very, very fucking random player.
There were a few of them as well.
Yeah,
it was like
Dele Alli on there.
Yeah.
Bonucci.
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, it's just like going through.
Let me guess. That was someone like the Bronx.
No, that's essential.
That wasn't football. I just saw Tiger Woods and thought, hang on a minute.
So there's like Messi, Mane, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Messi, Pulisic is the most of the country because
he's American. Yeah.
And then you see Dele Alli.
Just why?
It's like Bonucci. There's someone else that's weirder than that, and I can't think who it is.
I think the picture must have been fake.
Yeah.
Alaska, their favourite player is Rashford. And
it's just funny, isn't it? Speaking of going back to Britt Assombalonga, he still plays for Middlesbrough.
So there's another team, Middlesbrough. They can come up. They can make the playoffs.
Yeah. Also, I'd just like to say how Benny can say that name perfectly fine, but he struggles with words like cat sometimes. Like
he struggles with his own name. So when I was a kid, Middlesbrough were a Premier League side. Like they were, and they were full of great players. Well, not great players. They were full of they had Juninho, who was like one of the best strikers of all time. That was a weird transfer, which we didn't include in the weirdest transfers. But there was like Gary O'Neill, and then Gareth Southgate, obviously, at the back, and Jonathan Woodgate. They had solid centre backs. But then when they went down, it was like we haven't seen them since.
Yeah.
No. Well, yesterday Norwich drew to Middlesbrough, so I mean, Buendia did get a red card. Do they still have John Obi Mikel?
Who?
I thought he retired.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah. He might have retired, and I might be talking rubbish, but I just remember him playing for them.
They've
Yeah,
got,
no, he plays for Stoke. He plays for Stoke.
Oh. So he's still playing, but not
Yeah.
in.
He played for Middlesbrough in 2018, joined Trabzonspor,
yeah.
and then joined Stoke in 2020. Hasn't scored for him yet.
Of course, as well, Middlesbrough, they've just signed Yannick Bolasie on loan.
That's a good signing. Man like Bolasie.
Yeah. He wanted to reconnect with Neil Warnock. And it was meant to happen at the end of last season, but the paperwork wasn't done in time. And then he was left off the Everton 25-man squad, wasn't he? So
Yes.
obviously going to sign for someone. I'm just looking at their players. There's no one that's like actually... that actually like sticks out like a sore thumb. As
Oh, they got Akpom and Paddy McNair.
Yannick Bolasie, though, for me, is one of those players who was never good enough for the Premier League. But he is a good... He's a baller. Like, he's an actual...
He is a baller. Yeah.
And, like, he should be playing football, but not at the Premier League level.
It was quite exciting to watch occasionally at Everton. You know, he'd pull out, you know, the Bolasie flick and...
Where was he before Everton?
Bristol. Crystal Palace, sorry.
Crystal Palace. Yeah, that's where...
Because that was when he was sick. He was at Crystal Palace with Zaha.
Yeah, and them two out on the opposing wings or him in a cam role.
Yeah, and Van Aanholt.
Yeah.
That was a good Crystal Palace team.
Yeah.
But he's never really been a goal scorer, has he?
No. But he's more of a playmaker role. Like,
Yeah.
Ball up.
Yeah.
Well, he did score in that versus the Crystal Palace women's game. him and the goalkeeper, him and a reserve goalkeeper versus 11 women, and they win 7-1 or something stupid like that.
On that thing, didn't you see like the American women's team got battered the other day by like some kids? I'm pretty sure.
Last year.
Yeah.
That was like a few years ago.
Oh,
They just won the World Cup.
Yeah, and then they got battered by a bunch of kids.
It was like the Dallas under-15s, and they won like 16-0 or
something
something.
like that. It's mental.
No, the women scored first early.
Did they?
And then got ruined.
Yeah, because the main the striker of the women's the one who won the women's Ballon d'Or.
I know the like short, like pink hair.
Yeah.
The annoying one.
she's a horrible person, but there's some things she does say which I agree with. But then there's a lot of stuff I don't. And she's like, I don't care if the women's football doesn't get watched as much. When there's no sponsors, there's no money in it. We should be paid the same. I want to be paid the same as LeBron James. So wait a fucking minute. And she's like, we should at least be paid more than the men. So then they had a friendly against Dallas under-15s.
And got ruined.
They lost 17-1.
It was 5-2. It was 5-2.
Doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 700-0.
You shouldn't be getting battered around by a load of kids.
You won the World Cup. You are the best female team in the world.
Yeah.
And you just lost to a bunch of kids.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
We're not saying that women's football is all bad, though. We're just saying that there's some people who's like we don't agree with what they say at times. Some women's football is good.
This could be controversial or whatever, but they aren't as good as the men, and they're not as the money in the game isn't as much. That's why they don't get paid as much. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not because they're females.
No, of course, yeah. Yeah, the women's football brings less sponsors, less, you know, and less everything. And then if there's not
because
no, exactly, no, but it's just it's we just want to get out there. It's not because they're women.
Let's try to draw a line.
We're not causing controversy. It's just
Let's get back to the championship.
Let's move on.
What we should do is talk about if they go down, will they come straight back up, or how will they do going down? So Sheffield, Fulham, West Brom, Burnley and Newcastle are the 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Sheffield won't come back up for a season or two.
I reckon for a long time.
It'll be a couple of seasons.
They become a championship side for 3-4 years.
yeah, I can see that.
They would have to go when they go down. They'd have to reset. They're now mid-table that year, and then build up again.
I'm quite, like, not shocked, but upset because when they were doing really well last season, I was rooting for them. I was like, fucking go on. Like, you know, underdog side, doing really well.
I think that is the mentality of what I spoke about earlier. They didn't change the way they played when they came up, and now they're safe. Like, they thought, oh, we can do it again, but let's be a bit more defensive.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. But yeah, I think they're going down, and I don't think they're coming back up for a good few years.
Did they really lose any of their good players though that helped them get like such higher finish?
Henderson.
They lost Dean Henderson.
I think that's about it. But
then Billy. And why are you keeping Billy Sharp? Billy Sharp. He can only play.
Lee Sharp. Lee Sharp. Lee Sharp.
Oh.
Billy Sharp can only play afternoon games because there's a 6 o'clock curfew at the old people's home.
But they didn't really get anyone in, did they? They didn't really get anyone good in. Yes, they got Ramsdale. He's still young. He's 22. He could have a good future still. They got Rhian Brewster. We had this discussion yesterday.
Absolute con. If
I can't believe
if we did the worst
that Liverpool still think
next year, he would make it.
Yeah.
If we did the worst ever transfers in a year's time or 2 years' time, he's in it because he was 35 million, wasn't he? Like,
no, 20,
25.
23, 20, yeah, 20.
Million. Okay, 25 million for 0 goals. How can you leave Liverpool and be the worst striker in Sheffield? Billy Sharp plays for Sheffield.
Yeah,
and Billy Sharp's got 2 goals.
We did get ridiculous money for him. Even I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
And Benny told us about the 40 million buyback clause.
Yeah, we obviously had faith that he'd turn into something there, but
if he's class, you then rip him off again by taking him back.
Just let him go on loan. You should have just loaned him
for 2 years. 2-year loan.
This guy's got no goals in like the Premier League, but he's got a Champions League winners medal.
I was going to say we needed the money, but we're not going to fucking spend it, so we didn't. But yeah, I don't know. As we were saying, I think the bottom 3 of the Premier League at the minute is pretty much going to be what the bottom 3 is at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Who do you think swaps them though? Because I don't think Brighton are going down. I think they're in a poor run of form at the minute, but I think they'll claw it back.
I think it's Newcastle.
Nah, not after yesterday's game.
Well, any 3 then. Well, I don't want Brighton to go down because I like Brighton.
Yeah, I like Brighton as well. My mate plays for him as well, so.
Oh, fuck! I knew he was.
Oh, here we go. Get us a sponsorship deal with Brighton then.
They sat near each other once on a bus. That's how he knows him.
I went to school with him, you melt. Anyway, yeah, I don't see... Sheffield are going down. West Brom are definitely going down because I don't see anything from them. I saw something from it in
Ian Wright. Last night, Ian Wright saying they're staying up.
Saying that Sheffield have a chance.
Sheffield are staying up. He didn't say they've got a chance.
No, he said they're staying up. Yeah, he's a melt.
He said Burnley are going down.
Burnley?
Yeah.
Burnley are on a good run of form at the moment.
They just lost to Chelsea.
Well, yeah, but they beat they beat Burnley.
Burnley beat Burnley, yeah.
Burnley
they beat Villa, they beat Fulham, they beat Liverpool.
Cal timestamp this video.
Oh,
But if all three go down, I wouldn't be surprised. But I want to see Fulham stay up, and I want to see Brighton stay up. But if Fulham go down, they'll be straight back up.
Fulham is that team. They are the quintessential too good for the Championship, not good enough for the Prem.
Yeah, they're the poster team of that description.
Yeah.
they should start with they should start in the Championship with minus points, just so it's fair for the others.
Remember when Leeds did it?
They're not Sheffield Wednesday, bro.
Leeds,
Oh yeah, Sheffield Wednesday started with -6.
Leeds started with -15.
Did they?
Yeah, years ago, and they come third.
That's that's ridiculous.
They got 10-point deduction in the Premier League and got relegated.
Yeah.
Next year they got -15 points, and Dennis Wise was their manager. And Dennis Wise was the first ever manager of the month with 0 points because he won all their games. And got hit
I bet Leeds fans and pundits still say it was Bielsa.
But on the back of their programs, they got told off for it because on the back of the programs was the Championship, then the real Championship. So it was there, but plus 15 points. They would have won the league, but they would have won the league by 11 clear points. But they come third and then lost in the playoff final.
That's the kind of shit house you like to see, though, isn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah, that's Leeds.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew when Leeds were coming up that they would stay up. They're that kind of team.
They're ballers.
Yeah.
But if Fulham go down, they come straight back up. If West Brom go down, they probably come straight back up.
West Brom will go down, and then they'll definitely make playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends though with Fulham, because I think some of the lower teams, so maybe like your Brighton, your Newcastle, your Burnley, they might try and.
Oh, for God's sake!
Also,
Benny, re-say that. Nothing was said.
I said if Fulham go down, I think you're like your Brighton, your Newcastle, maybe even your Burnley will rip that team apart.
What, like
take their players?
Yeah, but as well, something I've just said as I was
on loans.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. As I was re-saying it, I've just remembered I tried to do a big career mode with Fulham, and about 12 of their starting 11 are on loan.
Well, their best player is Lookman, and he's on loan.
Yep. Loftus-Cheek on loan.
Yeah.
Areola on loan. Lamar, the Gabon one on loan. So it's like you can't. I don't think they'd come back up just because of they've tried to stay up, but they're not going to stay up with all those loans. When they leave, they're all going to go back to their.
So if you think about this, if they stay up, they will go back down then.
No, because if they stay up, I reckon those players stay. If they go down, they stay down because their starting 11 gets rinsed.
Well, Fulham have always done this. When they came up a couple of years ago and they went straight back down, they got Marco Reus on.
No, it was Schürrle.
Schürrle on loan, World Cup winner, on loan, and Ryan Babel, like some real fucking ballers. And Schürrle was on a 2-year loan deal.
Yep.
And then went down, and he terminated his own contract.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to play in the Championship. Schürrle's a baller, like a real World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Like he's
since retired.
But he should, to join the Premier League, he should be joining Chelsea or above, not relegation battle Fulham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an actual killer.
That could have been on weird transfers as well, or even though it was a loan, but you know.
Yeah, but
Well, we included loans.
Yeah, Stephen Colker.
Yeah, could have been on the weird transfers.
But yeah, there's just you just look at their team and just look at how many are like actually on loan. They've got Christensen as well, centre back, who's been one of their good defenders. He's on loan as well.
Mm. Yeah, so
next year, they'll get the parachute fund and then restart with more loans from other teams, like the same level of players again.
Yeah.
So they So if they go down, Lookman won't stay for another year. Like he'll join.
No.
He'll either go back to his parent club or he will join Burnley, Southampton, that level of
Yeah.
Villa, West Ham, that sort of level. I think he'd fit in. He probably won't get games at places like Villa and West Ham, but he will be they'll take him easy. But then if they go down, they've got that parachute fund of 40 odd million. Instead of buying players, they'll then get loan deals with that extra money they'll put into their wage budget.
Yeah.
And sign players from big clubs who don't make the teams in big clubs.
Yeah.
They actually have a lot of their players. They actually kind of have loaned out at the Championship level. So Anthony Knockaert is still on their books, but he's obviously on loan at Nottingham Forest. They've got quite a few on loan at like Middlesbrough, Bristol.
The Fulham backroom staff are clearly smart enough to let people go because they don't think they're going to be good enough in the Premier League, like to give them a bit more experience somewhere else. But instead of like training them up to be good enough for the Premier League, they're then getting other people in loan who then isn't working either. They're going to go down. Yeah, so
they've got Steven Sessegnon, obviously Ryan Sessegnon's brother. He's still on their books, but is on loan at Bristol City. They've got a lot of players
out somewhere abroad.
Pardon?
Where's Ryan Sessegnon?
Hoffenheim, I believe.
Yeah, he's in the Bundesliga.
He's a Spurs player.
Yeah, I think he is on loan from Spurs.
Yeah, so that's Steven. Both Sessegnon brothers are pretty good. So, but but then they're smart enough to let the young lad go on loan, like get him a bit more experience rather than let him play in the Premier League, and he will get bullied.
Yeah,
players like that who have no Premier League experience. But then there is players who don't have Premier League experience, like Lookman. He's never played in the Premier League, but he's played top level. So, like not top level, but he's like mid-table Premier League club. You know what I mean? Like, so they're
well, he was really low level, and then Everton just randomly just bought him, didn't they?
Yeah.
For like, I think it was like $1 million. When he was about 19. He's still only 22.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just have a quick look.
He's got years ahead of him to be fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was in the Championship, he would rip it apart.
Yeah.
Guaranteed Golden Boot winner in that Championship.
No, I agree.
Everton signed him from Charlton, so not as low as I thought, but they signed him from Charlton for 1.35 mil.
So Charlton League One.
Yeah. And then obviously he's now in a few years I could see him in the Everton lineup.
Or higher.
Yeah. Yeah, he just needs to get that experience. I think a season down in the Championship would do him good. Give him that confidence.
It could just ruin his career. People forget about players down there.
Yeah, it goes one of two ways.
Players down there go to die in my eyes. Like, because you disappear down there, people forget about you by the next year. You've got to fight like fuck to come back up.
Yeah.
And then you've got to start your reputation all over again when you come back up. Because like, you forget Mitrovic exists every time he goes down.
That's
like,
true.
And then every time he comes back up, you go, oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I might put him in my fantasy team. He might bag a couple of goals, and then he doesn't, and you fuck him off. But
well, no, you're guaranteed 10 goals. You're guaranteed 10 goals with a number 9 like Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Like, go abroad. Don't play somewhere like PSV. You'll be all right there.
Yeah. A little bit slower for you.
Yeah.
That's
great in the French league.
That's where fucking Andy Carroll needs to go.
Andy Carroll needs to go to an old people's home.
Yeah.
He gets tired after 30 minutes. I know I can't talk.
He's probably not that much older than me. How was Andy Carroll? 32?
Andy Carroll is 32. He's only just turned 32 as well. Beginning of this month.
He's 2 years older than me.
And it looks dead after 45 minutes of football. I know we can't talk because we die after 10 minutes down the park, but...
Yeah, but we're not pro athletes.
No, I know. But yeah, on the subject...
Yeah, that's like saying put him in the kitchen and see how he does.
See how he does on a fucking summer lunch service with us. It's just a bad...
But yeah, Sheffield go down, they stay down. West Brom go down, they fight to come back up and make at least playoffs, if not come straight back up. Fulham, depending on what happens with their squad, whether it gets rinsed or what happens, they either...
No, it will get rinsed. It will get rinsed, but then they get a parachute fund, which then means that they can restart and bring in loads of new players and come straight back up.
But I think they do what they have done like recently is they go down, they spend 2 seasons down there and come up on that second season. So they don't come back straight away. They come back like the season after.
So who's
It's always like the same kind of like 9-10 teams that are like relegated, come up, unless you have like a shock thing. So like the Sunderland going straight down to League One.
Yeah.
Stoke
Bournemouth
dropping.
up and staying up.
And staying up for a long time.
Yeah, you'll get a shock like that, or you will get a shock like Sunderland.
Yeah. But other than that, the teams that come back up, they stay in kind of like the bottom 13 of the Prem. Or like the top 10 of the Championship.
Yeah.
And it's always just between those kind of clubs.
Yeah. You're always.
It could go either way. Obviously, there's going to be like.
Go on.
There's like the kind of like the ones that then reaffirm themselves in the Prem. So like, obviously West Ham came back up quite a few years ago now. Huh?
Leicester, they came up in
Leicester.
2013. 2015.
I think Leeds are going to do the same. I think they're going to stay for a long time now.
Wolves have been up for a while now.
Villa.
I wouldn't call it as long as those clubs.
Well,
obviously they're doing well this season.
Villa came up in 2018.
Was it?
Yeah. Villa came up in 2018. This is their 3rd season up, or 2nd season up. And they don't look like they're going down. So that's the same thing. Like, they're now affirmed as a Premier League side to me again.
Yeah.
So, but it's like Southampton. They came up, stayed in the bottom for a bit, went right up to the top. Now kind of establishing themselves kind of middle.
That's the mid-table where they should be.
Yeah. So it kind of changes a bit, but there's always the same kind of like 2 or 3 teams in question. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a list of about 10 teams that could be that 2 or 3 that come up and go down and go up and come down.
Yeah. I agree, but I think it is going to be the 3 that are down at the bottom now that go down. I can't really see...
I think it will be the 3 that are at the bottom now and the 3 that are at the top in the Championship.
So we'll all name our personal 3 who are going to come up. So, Benny, you think it's...
I think it's Norwich, Swansea, Brentford.
Aaron?
I think it's Norwich, Brentford, Watford.
That's exactly the same as me. I don't think Swansea have got it in them.
And
I've just got a feeling, you know.
There's still 20 games left in that season.
Yeah.
A little hunch. Maybe it's because now they've got Hurahan.
It's essentially halfway point.
Yeah.
Who do we think is going to go? Do we all just think it's going to be the bottom 3 that are there now that are going to go down?
I can't see it changing much differently to what it is now, bottom 3 wise. Sheffield's definitely going down 100%.
No, in the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, no, I meant going down to the Championship.
Oh, I think it's Sheffield, West Brom, Newcastle.
Ooh.
I think it'll be Sheffield, West Brom, Fulham.
Yeah, I reckon it's
And
the
then,
bottom
and
three as it
then
is.
I think the season after, coming back up, would be Fulham and West Brom.
I think I might just be talking about like me biased. I'm not biased towards Fulham. I just want them to stay up. Like,
Yeah.
that's more what I'm thinking rather than a betting man would say the bottom three of ones that go down.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ian Wright.
I don't understand what he's basing that off of. There's no evidence saying that Sheffield will bloody...
He was saying shit like he was going 1-0 is a good result. Oh, Man City. Yeah, right. I guess so. If you're mid-table, but if you're in that relegation zone, if you lose 1-0 or 900-0, you still got 0 points from that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Was it Dion Dublin on the Fulham West Brom game, and he was saying Fulham have been doing well without Mitrovic.
what?
Have they?
Like, do you know my favourite thing about Dion Dublin? And Cal's probably going to cut this, but Cal didn't know that. Cal found out who Dion Dublin was through Homes Under the Hammer, not through football.
Yes, I remember this.
We were watching Match of Day once at the Chef Lodge, and he went, "He's on Homes Under the Hammer."
He's like, what's that bloke from Homes Under the Hammer doing a match of the day? We're like, it's fucking Dion Dublin, Cal. He's like, who's that?
Oh, I do love a bit of Homes Under the Hammer and Bargain Hunt, though.
What is this turned into?
I like Bargain Hunt. Me and Benny are going to go on.
Christ.
If they got Dion Dublin presenting Bargain Hunt, that would be the best thing in the world.
I think that wraps it up for today, boys.
Yeah, I think that that just about finishes it off. So cheers for tuning in, as per usual, guys. And like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow our socials. Put in the comments if you like Bargain Hunt, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Or more importantly, what you think about the championship. And
Oh yeah, all that. Right, in a bit, guys. Take care.
It's on the BBC.